Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive.
Always. What are we exploring today?
Today we're tackling civil service exams
Oh, interesting.
from all over the world.
Oh,
These are those tests,
wow.
that basically decide if you get to work for the government.
High stakes.
Exactly. And we've got a ton of research to go through.
Great.
Articles, real-life examples.
Sounds comprehensive.
So whether you're actually thinking about taking one of these exams
Yeah.
or just curious about how different countries pick their government workers,
I'm definitely in that second group.
buckle up. We're going to uncover
Uncovering things.
the wild world of civil service exams.
I've got to say, I don't know much about them.
Well, get ready to learn
I'm all ears.
because we're going to compare how hard they are
Okay.
and what they tell us about different countries and their ideas about government.
That's what I love about these deep dives. It's like we learn about something specific, but it also tells us something bigger about the world.
Exactly. So before we jump into specific countries,
Yeah.
can you give us like a quick definition of civil service exams?
Sure. So at the most basic level, these exams are all about making sure that people get government jobs based on their skills and knowledge,
Makes sense.
rather than like who they know or their family background.
It's all about qualifications.
Exactly.
So basically, they're trying to find the best people for the job.
Yeah. And that benefits everyone.
Right. Totally. I mean, we all want competent people running things.
For sure. Whether it's your local city council
Right.
or like the folks making national decisions.
Impact.
And these jobs, they're not just about power.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They often come with a lot of responsibility,
Sure.
a sense of like purpose.
Right.
Civil servants keep things running,
Yeah, I really do.
tackle all sorts of problems.
Everything from like
Right.
making sure the trash gets picked up
Exactly.
to responding to emergencies
Yeah.
to keeping our food and water safe.
This is a huge responsibility.
It is. All right. Are you ready to start our world tour of civil service exams?
I am. Lead the way.
Okay, first stop. India.
Ooh, interesting.
They have this exam called the UPSC exam.
UPSC, okay.
And from what I've read,
Yeah,
this thing is tough.
really.
Like really tough.
Like how tough are we talking?
Well, it has a reputation as one of the hardest exams in the entire world.
Wow. What makes it so hard?
Well, it's a multi-stage process.
Okay.
And the syllabus is massive.
Like, what do you mean by massive?
Like they test you on everything.
Everything.
Pretty much. History, geography,
Oh my gosh.
politics, economics, science, the arts, even ethics and current affairs.
So like you have to know a little bit about everything.
A little bit about everything, but a lot about a lot of
That
things.
sounds intense.
Imagine studying for years, just trying to master this huge amount of information.
Oh, I couldn't even imagine.
And then you've got thousands and thousands of other people all competing for a tiny number of jobs.
Oh, so the competition is insane.
It's a pressure cooker.
Hmm.
Okay, let's move on from India for now.
Right.
Let's hop over to South Korea.
Ooh, more exams.
More exams. Now, South Korea's exam isn't quite as broad as India's,
Okay.
but it's still known for being really tough.
I see.
They really focus on specific skills,
Like what?
law, administration, economics.
Interesting. So very practical skills for government.
Exactly. They're looking for people who can hit the ground running in those key areas.
That makes sense.
And I was reading that it's actually pretty common for people to take the exam multiple times before they pass.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, the competition is super intense.
You really got to be dedicated.
You got to be persistent, for sure. All right, 2 countries down.
2 down, a whole world to go.
That's right. Let's jump across the Pacific now
Okay.
and see how the United States does things.
I'm curious about this one.
I know, right? So you might think that the U.S. has like one giant exam for anyone who wants to work for the federal government.
That would make sense, right?
It would, but it's actually quite different. They don't have one big exam.
Really?
Nope. They have a bunch of different tests,
Hmm.
and each test is for a specific type of job.
Interesting. So it's more specialized.
Exactly. So if you want to be a diplomat, for example,
Yeah.
you take a totally different test than someone who wants to work in, say, environmental policy.
So it's tailored to the actual work you'd be doing.
Precisely.
Mhm.
And one of the best known examples of this
Oh, yeah.
is the Foreign Service Officer test.
The what?
It's called the FSOT for short.
Okay, FSOT. Got it.
That's the one you take if you want to represent the U.S. as a diplomat overseas.
So like working at embassies and stuff?
Exactly.
That sounds pretty cool.
It does, but the FSOT is known for being super tough.
I bet. It makes sense, though, right?
Totally.
It's a really specific job.
Right. And they want to make sure you have the right skills.
Definitely. Okay, so we're diving deep today into a text file, simply titled lastline.txt.
Catchy. Right.
Uh-huh. Yeah, real clickbaity. But
But intriguing.
exactly, very mysterious. But inside seems to be all about acing civil service exams, which is something a lot of our listeners are
Oh, yeah, definitely.
interested in. So let's jump in and see what kind of wisdom we can extract from this thing. First off, it looks like it's just a snippet of a transcript, maybe from like an educational podcast or even a lecture or something like that.
And it's fascinating how, like, right from the start, there's this big emphasis on mindfulness and attention. It's like they're hinting at the mental game involved, not just learning the material, but like really mastering it for these exams.
Yeah, totally. Like there's this one line that really jumped out at me. The speaker is wrapping up a section and they say, and I quote, "All right, everyone, that's all for the first half of today's episode. Before we dive into the next part, remember to stay mindful and attentive because the journey to cracking a civil service exam is as much about focus as it is about hard work. So take a moment to reflect on what we've covered so far, and I'll see you in the next segment. Don't go too far."